It's early in the morning. I'm outside for a walk. Went to check on my chickens and rabbits. Now I came back to this part of the woods to check on my sheep, and I'm sitting here, soaked wet because it's raining slightly. When I get home, I'm gonna have to change from head to toe. I was just too lazy to open the umbrella. Sometimes the rain is so small that you're like, ah, this is nothing. But after, some minutes or, hours, you're wet. Out here we have a saying, chuva molha tolos, meaning it's a type of rain that it's only supposed to rain on the fool, but actually it rains on everybody because everybody kind of dismisses it. Oh, this is not rain, I'm okay. And then eventually they get soaked wet after a while. The other day, I forgot to mention in the blood pressure audio that I made about the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. I knew something that escaped me, and it was that. As I was trying to say, that the body kind of creates, new neural pathways, and it starts mistaking, exercise and emotions. Trauma exercise, what was the expression? Um, and trauma from emotions. When you are, exercising, you are pushing your body, you are traumatizing the body. And that's not the expression. I can't remember right now. And there's also emotions. Emotions also, traumatize you certain way. When you are locked for long periods of time on physical trauma, like you had a health issue or an accident and you're suffering, example, for chronic pain, like myself, or you are in a toxic relationship and you are constantly thinking about, this psychological trauma that you're under, or other, it can be other situation that causes you emotional trauma and stress from work as well. When you constantly thinking about the unwanted, for instance, when you are living in totalitarian regimes, people get a lot stressed because they are constantly looking over their shoulder. They can't be, at ease, because they are constantly being watched by the overlords, and they are quite dehumanizing. They can accuse you of anything. They literally violate all human rights to existence, and we create these neural pathways. I'm just giving examples. And then the body, they can't differentiate from physical trauma from psychological trauma. So when it can't differentiate in a stressful situation, then the body starts releasing hormones that affect the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is about fight or flight situation. It's when you either run or face, the adversary or the predator or the situation, etc. It releases these hormones that put you in a state of shock, adrenaline shock, in which your senses are focused for fight or flight. It gives you a push of energy so you can, your muscles, become, fueled with these hormones that allow you to run or fight, etc. you know and then there's the parasympathetic system, which does the opposite. The body releases hormones, like melatonin, serotonin, to actually relax and heal the body. You see, that's what happens when you go to sleep. Your body starts releasing these hormones so you can recuperate, rejuvenate, to wake up, fully recharged. If you wake up in the morning and you're tired, it means there's something wrong with your parasympathetic nervous system. Your body just doesn't stop producing adrenaline hormones and other types of hormones that keep you, in perpetuity state of fight or flight. So that, of course, breeds, what's the expression, wears you out. It ages you fast. Yes, and it causes mental deterioration. Of course, right? You can't rest. um, all right, so that's what I forgot to say. when the body, okay, let me recap if I didn't miss anything, because I go on tangents and sometimes I forget if I covered all bases, so to speak, following the analogy. So the body no longer recognizes physical from spiritual or emotional trauma, and instead of put you in the state of sleeping, it actually gives you adrenaline to fight or flight. That's why you don't sleep. You know, that's why your blood is always, even though you are resting, the blood is what we call adrenalized in the fight or flight mode, what we called extremely, what we call high blood pressure. That's what we call high blood pressure. When you are running, high blood pressure is normal. But when you are stable, right, for some minutes, hours, your body should be in rest. Yeah. So that's when you know so the body mistakes these situations. So you are like myself right now. I'm sitting here and I immediately start thinking about the unwanted. I don't know, something at work, toxic relationship, lack of money. I mean, that's a big one as well. Or your children. A lot of people say, from the moment I started, from the moment I had children, I never slept. All right, because you're constantly thinking about what can happen. You're constantly checking. Actually, women do this better than men because their system is a lot more complex than ours. Ours is more straightforward, and it's a 24-hour system. Women, it's much more complex. It's following the lunar cycle. Every 27 days, they follow this cycle, and it's a cycle when they are pregnant. It's a cycle when they are not pregnant. It's different. When you are you're not pregnant, the cycle is one thing. When she gets pregnant, the cycle becomes something else, and when she's a mother, the cycle even becomes something else. Basically saying a woman only becomes a woman when she's a mother. Yes. Father, it's a different thing. It's every 24 hours. It's basic. It's almost like the solar calendar, which is a daily, or should I say annual. It's a year calendar. It's the solar. It's more in tune with men, and the lunar is more in tune with women, because all of those complex movements and phases and etc. That's analogy. That's why the mystics of the past always connected man with solar and women with lunar, because of that. So their system is a lot more different than ours. So they're actually hardwired to do that, to sleep 1 hour or two and then wake up to check on the child or to see if everything's okay, and they go back to sleep, and so on and so on. You know, I mean, there's so much. There's so much about this. The thing that destroys actually the system of a woman is when she takes birth control pills. That's when everything gets out of balance. Everything gets destroyed. There's this doctor, and I can't remember her name. I'll put it in the description, her name. She wrote a book, which I'm going to buy, but there's some talks online, and she tells in detail, this is all empirical, science, and of her own experience, because she herself did it. And the differences you can't even notice, because it's you who's taking the pill, right? If you are taking the pill, your body will tell you every day of the day that it's okay. Get along. The body is telling you it's okay. It's only through the eyes of others that they notice the differences. And she recalls, my mother, my siblings, what's wrong with you? There's something wrong about you. And it was from the moment she started taking the pill. People change dramatically. Yeah. If you want to go back and save, quote unquote, Western society, the most revolutionary act that you can do is stop taking the contraception pill, aka the castration drug. Stop taking it, and your behavior will change dramatically. She said, I suddenly started feeling more into music. She said, I started, following my rhythm, following, more interested in the opposite sex, and especially in manly people, manly men with characteristics, of, large chin, big, well formed, very, nice and everything. Because when I was in the pill, it didn't matter. It didn't really matter. She wasn't interested in manly men. She was only interested probably in this cool thing called safety. which is the nerds that have a stable, salary or a stable job, and they go with it because it's safe. Because women seek safety. It's not like men, you know. That's why we're living in socialist utopias at the moment. Is because women are in charge most of the times. That's why we live in social utopias. Socialism hijacks your perception, or communism thinking that you're going to be safe. No, you're not. It's going to be the opposite. But anyway, okay, I went on tangents already, but that's what I forgot to tell about the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. It's very important. All right. Have a nice day.